My wife a
Why you
Delta.
got Delta powder?
What? You worry about the wrong thing, man. Just get ready for LeBron James in the bubble. Think about
LeBron
that.
James ain't gonna do anyway. Fellas. LeBron James.
Yeah.
Well, he a Lakers fan. He a Lakers. Never mind, he might do something. But
Go,
anyway,
go James. Go
Corey, why you
James.
got your collar so tight, player? Corey always been wore shit up like
Okay,
all the
Or
time.
just got
Fella.
off goddamn virtual meeting.
fellas, shut up, y'all. We are live for the 15th
You think you
episode.
got out of virtual Zoom?
I just let premarital counseling, man. Fuck y'all.
What?
Everybody muted. God damn it. So we are live for Brothers Went to episode 15. We are in this thing. Once again, it is me, Swift, ready to bring y'all some great topics tonight, and it's gonna be a long conversation. E, what you?
I mean, Chinese
No,
food.
So tonight I'm drinking a blue margarita, ain't blue juice. For those that think, just a blue.
Oh, I thought it was blue juice. That
Nah,
was the blue juice.
nah.
Yup. This your boy T. In the ATL, I'm back. I've been drinking water for the last 2-3 weeks. I'm back on the wine. It's been like 6 weeks since I've been on the wine. So I'm not responsible for what happened.
What up? It's your boy Crowley. Definitely once again at Uncle Nears, but I'm on a small batch this time. Shout out to my people. Definitely want to tell everybody continue to stay safe out there. Much love. Thank you all for tuning in.
And not like, brown.
Yeah. Anyway, they called me in the middle while I was eating. You know what I'm saying? Had some Panda Express and shit was good as fuck. But yeah, we are here today to discuss why Jay Ward be lying. Saving everybody. I don't know.
Oh,
That's fake news. It's Jay Ward coming to you with my dope black dad shirt on. Shout out to my boy Brian Bucker, His Glory Alone LLC. Holler at him if you want a shirt. Tonight, I'm on the gym. One of my favorite drinks. Ready to bring some balance to you, young men.
And finally, it's your boy CJB here. Tonight, I got this done Julio Reposado and Killer, man, and like a little splurging for y'all broke niggas tonight. So,
early.
The cheapest nigga on the chat.
He's stoking on this, man.
Right, stoking.
And speaking of,
Stokage. So slight Stokage.
and we got the news that Homecoming Council for Jackson State. I just want to show y'all the shirt. Make homecoming great again.
So Alpha Beta, we're gonna make homecoming great this year.
Homecoming great again. We're gonna make
Jackson State not gonna make it great.
not this year, next year. But let's go and kick this thing off. We've seen a lot of comments, a lot of social media posts, even in the group chat. We talked about this. And I can't wait to bring my boy in on this topic. Where did he go? Somebody text Dino. But we talked about relationship, but we never really talked about dating. And what does dating look like? And more specifically, what does that first date look like? Are you because I seen on social media this one person post, "You're not taking me to a 5-star restaurant, you got to pay for everything. We not gonna converse no more, right?" So I want to ask y'all fellas, because I don't think we really get a fella's point of view for what they want their first date to look like. We know what the women somewhat, what their first date needs to look like or what they want to look like. But fellas, for you, what does that first date look like? What are you doing? Are you taking her to a fancy restaurant? Are you paying for everything? Y'all going Dutch? What's going on?
For one, on the first day, of course I'm gonna pay for it because I asked you out. So, of course I'm gonna pay for it. However, I'm not paying for no 5-star restaurant. Like the first date with my woman, we went to the movies and went to Snow Beach. Like the first date is basically getting to know the person who you asked out. That's it. If you run across a woman that's like, okay, we gotta go to a steakhouse on the first date, she not for you, dog, and she on the money train, and it is what it is.
Right.
But like a legit steakhouse or 5-star restaurant, you're gonna spend at least $150 to $200 when you factor in drinks, entrees. So I'm not paying for that shit on the first day. It's somebody I just met. Like that's a lot of fucking money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like it's you got to look at other avenues. Man. You can go to coffee shops. You can go to a walk in the park. You can go to a museum. You can go to the movies. You can go to shit like that. But an actual 5-star restaurant where you're going to spend a lot of money, hell nah. Man, I'm not. And one of y'all brothers could. And I'm not going to knock it. That's what you choose to do. But nah, I don't roll like that.
Rob.
Anyway, but Rob is right, and I was going to talk on that. You know, some women won't admit it, but of course, I ran across women that say they go out with people for free food, and the free food Negroes are usually the ones that's going to pay for the steakhouse experience, and they're going to walk away with nothing afterwards. So if some dudes roll like that, hey, you know, that's on you, but I never roll like that. That's just me.
T. Time
Yo.
in real quick so I can bring Dino. Go ahead.
I mean, okay, are we talking about somebody that we want to pursue? Are we talking about the sneak? What we talking about?
Why you
Both,
taking
like-
the sneak out? Why you taking the sneak out?
Well, look, we can do both. Like, why would
What's
the
the
first date look different? And if
No,
it
you
does,
don't
why does
need
it look
the
different for
sneak.
both?
Bro,
The sneak gotta fend for herself.
nah, you take the sneak out, bro. You take the
No.
sneak out. Yes, you do.
It's
I
rude
mean,
to
no.
this
hold on.
shit.
It's levels.
He right.
No.
It's rude to this
Hold
shit.
on. It's
T,
levels.
Get T off here, bro. Get
No,
T
it's
off, man.
levels. It's
Get T
levels.
off,
It's
bro.
levels. I'm with T. I'm with T. It's levels and with T.
Man,
I got
y'all
you.
need to come on.
Okay.
Y'all
I got you, my nigga.
No.
Go ahead, T. Go ahead, T.
Listen, what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying, women be thinking like, oh, I'm so special because he took me to this spot that I never been to. You know, it's a duck off, it's real nice, and you know, we really taking you there because we don't really want to be seen with you. So you know what I'm saying? So let's talk about that first. I'm with Corey. I ain't really trying to do all that super stuff on the first date. Everybody don't prove their worth, you know what I'm saying, to be spending all that money on the first date like that. So that's all I really gotta say, man. You know, I'm gonna let y'all rock on this one, man.
T, I got you because I'm gonna piggyback on him what he was talking about. It is levels to this shit.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Like dead serious.
Let's
Hold
hear it.
on. One more thing though. I really do want to say though. Somebody said about going Dutch. Ain't no Dutch on the first date for me because I'm raised old school. I'm a man and I'm paying because I asked you out. Ain't no going Dutch. You know what I'm saying? That's the sign. That's how I'm leading. You know what I'm saying?
I think we all agree. You know, we all Southern men from the South, raised right. We eat. I don't know about eat. We gonna pay for the first date, man. And if we ask you out, I think it's only fair that the man pay for the first date. Go ahead, bro.
Definitely gonna back T up on the it's levels to it. Where you're going with it or where you think you're going, especially when you meet the young lady. If you meet her and it's just kind of on some, yeah, when we're gonna kick it tight, you know, ain't no pressure per se. I'm with Corey. Shit, we gonna go to a Snowbiz or something like that. But if it's something that I'm really trying to pursue, then I might step it up on another level, and then I might go to a restaurant, but I'm not going to no steakhouse now.
Mhm.
Now I saw in the comments where, you know what I'm saying, a Mexican or something like that, because you want to be able to enjoy each other, because that's what the date is about, getting to know each other, not about financial means, you know what I'm saying, or spending cash or what amount is being spent. If he taking me here, then that means he really likes me, or if he putting, you know, because women, let's be real, women start judging you from the moment they see you at the beginning of their date. What shoes you got on, what pants you got on, what shirt you got on. Is your car clean on the outside? Is it clean on the inside? Is this nigga breath stink? Do he got crust in his eyes? Is he lotioned up? Now, what restaurant he taking me to? All that shit is like a build-up film. And on us, it's just more so, hey, let me see who this young lady is. We don't want nobody looking dusty now, whatever level you land on, whether sneak or we trying to put you, you know, on a main level. We don't want you looking dusty. So, yeah, we're going to look at that. But at the same time, we're not going to sit there and be like, man, because she came out in jeans and a T-shirt and some J's, man, she just gonna get some McDonald's. No.
No,
Bruh.
you gotta be
Bruh.
strategic too, man. You can hit up a happy hour, man. You can be good on a happy hour. Somebody said
Bruh.
Mexican
Oh,
restaurant.
Yeah, I'm with you on a happy hour too, Corey. I'm with you on a happy hour, but it's just levels to it, G. Let's be real. Cal, No, it's levels to it. You
Y'all
you
niggas
definitely
be
don't put
bruh.
every young lady in the same level because every young lady ain't putting you in the same level.
Before
They
ego,
out if they go
before
they can
ego,
give you.
before ego, let's go to the comments real quick. Sheila says, so if the woman asks you out, y'all gonna let her pay?
Hell yeah. She insists.
Spend their bread. Spend their bread.
Hold on, let me keep going. Chanel Carroll said, women know what they want from a guy as soon as they meet him. I think that goes.
I just said that shit, bro.
Was saying. Let's keep going down. What if you have 5 dates lined up in 1 week? Is it still cool to not go Dutch? 5 dates lined up in a week? Oh my god!
It's possible.
You
It's
must
possible.
fast on the first night to get 5 days back to back.
It's possible, you know.
Go ahead, E.
All right. Let me get some things clear first of all, right? Number one, you do not take your sneak out because that's your side piece. You can't be giving her main chick treatment. That's a no-no. You violate. You send a mix.
How's that violate? You gotta show appreciation, G,
none of that. Nope.
for holding you down, man. Hey, if she a solid young lady, you gotta show some type of appreciation for holding you down. I don't care what you say.
Again, right? That's what I'm talking about. You sending the mixed signals. You crossing the lines, bro. Now you confusing her, and then when she start acting crazy, you gonna be saying, I don't know why she acting like that. But you treating her like she your old lady, bro. Come on now.
No.
For real. You take
now, wait. Now I might just do a little thing like CBJ more so, but my chick, shit. Now that's gonna get the 5-star restaurants. That's gonna get the, you know, we going out of town type stuff. But that's why I say it's levels to it, G.
No. Fuck that.
So E, what you doing?
Anyway,
what is your first thing look like?
I'm about to say, so like, say for instance, if a chick want a 5-star restaurant on the first date, that means she broke. Straight up. There be no broke chicks that be wanting and they can't do that shit they got themselves. Niggas stop taking these broke ass women on these expensive ass dates because they can't do that shit they got themselves. Leave they broke asses where they at. Anyway, moving right along. On the first date, I pay, but it's to the extent to where it is, you know what I'm saying? We gotta interact. I ain't trying to just go see no movie, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to talk. It's supposed to be like a conversation and shit. Well, me and my old lady met, we went to Starbucks and we chilled and talked for like 4 hours. 4 hours worth of conversation. That was our first date. Best $12 I ever spent in my life.
Yeah.
That's legit. But the conversation led to me find out more about her. She found out about me.
Right.
We found out each other's interests and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And then that led to the next date was where we went rock climbing and shit like that. Okay. And I'm scared of heights, so shit.
Oh, even in love, he did something. Hey, for a man to break a fear that fast, you fell in love fast, my boy. I'm just being real with you.
Let's go to the comments real quick before we go to. I'm gonna go to Jay and Mike. Queen, y'all want to pay but don't want to go all out. Got it.
Hey, how you see it? Shit.
Okay. Just like what I said.
It's so.
Okay.
Annika and one.
I got it. You need.
What's up, Muff? Whoever asks should always pay. I disagree with that. I think the man should always pay no matter what. That's just me because I'm sorry.
Not all, but on the first
day.
Yeah.
Stokes, you can go out. Every day doesn't have to be Del Frisco's. Treat the side how you want to be treated today. Treat the main the way you want to be treated when you made it.
What? Y'all still on this? Bro, like you can't do that, bro. Like
let's go, Jay Ward.
Hold on. I got a couple more comments. I think it's all about who you're taking out from Gabby. That's true. Muff, a lie, E, because what I require I can provide, and sometimes us women offer and men and are offended.
Y'all taking men at the 5-star restaurants?
Jay Bill. Okay. Starbucks is a reasonable first date. That lets you know if you even want there to be a second. Absolutely. And M just come in. Okay, y'all talking about GFs and side chicks, but what about somebody you just smashing? Let's go, Jay Ward. And then we're gonna go Mike.
Jay Ward got his paper on ready.
Da-da-da-da. You don't take nobody you just smash down on no date. Like you supposed to keep it straight what it is. Stop mixing.
Oh, I see. Dino get it together. Signals, bro. Go, Jay Ward. So I'm
gonna just say, yeah. I just want to say this too. When Dino gets, I just want to say that just know that you are in the up 2 10s, which is the greatest club in Alpha Beta history. Let me say that first. So shout out to my boy Dino when he gets on. You have 2 10s in your presence. You're right, Captain America. No, but in all seriousness, when it comes to dating, I think we have to distinguish: are we hanging out or are we dating? All right. So is this just a meetup so we can see if we want to go on a date, or is this just this is we just hanging out? So I think a first one are always a public outing because it makes everybody feel safe. It's not suspicious. You're not trying to lure them in, so y'all can be alone. So I would always say go to a public outing. But he was saying make somewhere where conversation can happen. Trying to get to know this, and so it needs to be some talking involved. So a movie may not be the best idea because you can't really talk during the movie. So we just kind of sitting there watching the movie. So I would advise not that on the first date. I would also encourage somebody that's taking somebody out on the first date to do something unique. Come at that person with something different because they've been on all these traditional dates. A lot of women may not want to go to a 5-star restaurant for what? Because most women, and I feel like most of the women that we would entertain more than likely has her own. And she doesn't need, we're talking to a chick that's dependent upon a man anyway. So more than likely she can afford her own 5-star meal. So, that's something right there that I don't even think is a factor. I also think that, I agree with what they were saying. Whoever asks for the date probably should pay, but I'm old school like T if I can. But one thing that I would advise anybody to do is, even if you are going to pay, stay within your means. Don't establish something that you can't maintain. So don't drop your biggest amount of money, and you can't afford to take her to a 5-star restaurant, and you can't keep that up because expect that in future dates because you took them to Chamberlain's or something like that on the first date, so they're going to expect you to maintain that. But I do think that you should show this woman from the jump that you value her, and take your time to think about a well thought out date to where you can really get to know this person. They can know you, but show them that you value them. And then I don't know whose phone it is, not mine. And to speak to what Crow was saying, I agree with when he was talking about like a woman coming out with some J's on and some jeans. You want to communicate with the woman like, hey, you don't need to wear your heels tonight. Wear something comfortable because what we're going to do. So I think you should mention the attire beforehand. So just communicate with that person on what you might do. It might be a surprise and you don't want to reveal it, but at least let them know like, hey, you want to dress comfortable for this, maybe some tennis shoes because it's going to involve a lot of movement and something like that. But that's all I have on that.
Okay, Mike, what you got?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on again. Mike Gates, representing Jacktown by way of Memphis. One thing that I don't think anybody else mentioned, and this is how I view dating. I've never actually dated a stranger. And what I mean by that is I've never met a person online or met a person in a grocery store or at a bank or anything like that and said, hey, you know what, let's go out.
You ain't got no game.
No, what I mean by that though is, and I think I saw it in the comments too, is that, man, I get to know people intimately before we ever actually go out. Like we have hours and hours of conversation before we ever actually go back out to do some sort of activity. Usually, and it don't necessarily have to be like we didn't talk for a month before we ever actually go out. But I'm just saying that we generally have multiple conversations. I find out her interest.
Mike is a true Southern gentleman. Mike say he gonna literally put in that.
Yeah, like I put the time in before we actually go. So if we do happen to go, if it actually goes that far, because a lot of things that I'm hearing y'all say is stuff like, well, I'm not taking her to this, and I'm not doing this, I'm not spending this kind of money. Because you don't know if they're worth that kind of money. But my thing is, I find out if they're worth it beforehand. So I don't mind spending money if we do go out, because I find out beforehand whether or not they're worth my time to keep pursuing. You know what I'm saying? So
it
ain't cap for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hold on, Mike. Make sure I understand you correctly. So you're saying you've never taken a woman out on the day that you had no previous conversation or experience with prior to that?
Just randomly meet a chick and be like, "Hey,
man, come on!"
Like once we exchange numbers,
like let's grab.
Once we exchange numbers or whatever like that, we'll usually talk. You know, multiple times before we ever actually go out physically. You know what I'm saying? I just believe in, my thing is, man, the same way women hold they box and everything to high esteem. I hold my money to high esteem. I'm not gonna go out here, man, be trying to spend $200 just to waste my time knowing that it ain't gonna go nowhere. And then, like, I heard somebody say, "What if you got multiple dates lined up?" That happens. You got men and women who got multiple dates lined up, and if the man is expected to pay for every first date, man, just dating itself could cost you $1,000 a month. Just dating.
$1,000, more than $1,000.
I don't make that type of money. Let me go to the comment.
That's what I'm saying. I don't make that kind of money, so nah. You know, my thing is, and then women, nowadays, their expectations are like astronomical. They have this. Oh yeah, man. That might be what it is. But like a lot of people mentioned earlier, how judgmental women can be when it comes to dating, and so there's this sense of entitlement that I'm not really digging with today's dating scene. So, man, I'm not trying to date a woman who, if I can't take her to a 5, or if I don't take her to a 5-star restaurant, if I don't pull up in a BMW, and if I ain't wearing a Brooks Brothers suit, I'm a no good nigga this, or what I'm saying, I'm broke. Like, I got money, just 'cause I don't want to spend it. You know what I'm saying? Don't mean I'm broke. You know what I'm saying?
Let me go real quick, and then I'm gonna go to Dino, and I'm gonna make sure Dino introduce himself. Dre, you should do an activity, not dinner. At least that's what I tell my kids. Gabby, going out to eat is the only thing you can do in Baton Rouge. Stokes, women don't offer to pay if you aren't really willing to pay. If you want us to be honest, follow your own advice. Chanel, exactly. Y'all don't have a few phone combos before going out? Well, I guess you do. Mike Braxton, we're going bowling, or we're going to the arcade or mini golf, building blocks. That way, if she's boring, at least there's some entertainment going on. I feel that.
Shit, mini golf expensive too.
All that shit.
And period expensive, G.
Hold on. $35 a person.
In Atlanta, after you pay for parking and entrance and drinks, all that is you up to $100 easily.
Easy.
Especially in Top
in Atlanta anyway. Dino, introduce yourself and tell us what you think.
I'm Dino T, Baton Rouge by way of Jackson, Mississippi. Tonight I'm drinking on Crown XO. It's toward the end because it's almost over with. But topic is first date. First date depends on the person, so it's always gonna be circumstantial. I mean, if I know I done got the hood chick from the gas station, I'm not taking her to no 3-5-star restaurant. We're going to Popeyes, chicken sandwich, fried. She know what's about to go down. Like, it's over. Like, you just gotta go based off the chick you meet. If you meet the chick that wants to be around people, like you dating, and she said, "Yeah, I had dinner with the mayor. I had this, I had that." She want to be seen. So I'm gonna ask her, okay, what do you have going on tonight? More than likely, she has plans for y'all already. So it just is what it is. Or I may look up and see what the hot spot is for that night, see who got the specials, and then make her feel good. But my first date, I'm taking them on that date to see where we're going. I know where we're going within the first 10 minutes. All it takes is 10 minutes. Shout out to you, J Ward. 10 minutes. After them 10 minutes, I know whether I'm just ready to beat some guts up, or be your friend and talk to you because you're too crazy and you just tell me about yourself from time to time, or what I'm going to be in your life.
Let me ask you this, Brother Dino.
What's up?
Do you feed the chick that you just smashed, or do you let her fend for herself?
Listen to me. If you just smashing, do not feed her. When Thank you. Listen, I used to have a job where I used to travel week to week, and the lady at the hotel told me, "Don't feed them cats." She said, because if you feed those cats, they're gonna come back. I knew then, do not feed any of the chicks you come across. What? Yes. If you think about it, you have a chick that you met on Thursday night and Friday morning come along and you ready for her to leave. First of all, why she spent the night. Second of all, the fact that she did spend the night, I was so messed up that she was there.
Hold on, time out. First off, sex would have been hella great that it carried over into the morning, so we finally went to sleep round by 3 or 4, and we just put our ass up. My stomach growling, and
But
I don't need somebody who give me some
my stomach growling, her stomach growling, but I know if I feed her, she's going to stay longer. If I don't feed her,
great sex, and I feed her, she might give me some head before she walk out the door.
I don't even want it. I'm proud of her.
What you about to do?
Oh, Liv.
What you about to do? Get your last supper.
All right, next topic, Will.
All right, hold on. Any final thoughts on this topic, fellas?
Don't feed them.
Man, listen, man. You feed everybody, bro. Everybody.
No.
It's just
that's a gentleman. That's a gentleman thing to do, man.
You got
but I'm not feeding everybody.
You got the
Bro,
fork
I'm not feeding everybody.
you got the wings and things. You got the catfish plate, and you got the steak dinner. It's levels to it, man.
No, I got some noodles in the fridge, and you got who you take out.
Listen, listen, one more, man. Wise man, I was told me, man. He tell you, tell a chick, I got hard dick and bubble gum, and I'm fresh out of bubble gum.
Okay.
So,
on my first date, I just wanted women to have fun. I just wanted to have a little fun. That's it.
We understand. We'll let y'all wrap it up and talk about it. But at the end of the day, that's dating. But now we're going to transition to actually dating and being in a relationship. Will Smith posted something a long time ago. This is not the current, Will and Jada topic. This is something in the past. He said that your partner's happiness is not your responsibility. Now I'm gonna get Dino and Mike to go first, and then we're gonna switch all out. But he said your partner's happiness is not your responsibility. You be happy on your own. I'm gonna be happy on my own, and we come together and be happy. Right? That's what he said. So, fellas, I want to get y'all opinion on this. Is it your responsibility to make your spouse happy, or to bring your spouse happiness, whatever they may come in, whatever form they look like? Or is it your responsibility to make her happy? I'm gonna start with Mike Gates, then Dino. We'll switch y'all out.
Man, I agree with Will 1,000%. 1,000. Like your happiness it comes from self. Like if you really think about and I don't want to be too overly religious, but if you think about how they used to say, man, can't nobody steal your joy and so on and so forth. Like, man, you shouldn't force your mate to be responsible for your happiness, because at the end of the day, whatever they do or don't do shouldn't affect you to the point where your happiness. Like I'm losing my train of thought, but
Mike,
the way I look at it. Oh yeah, I'm definitely been on that Basil Haynes. I forgot to let y'all know earlier what I was on. The Basil Haynes, been on that. But at the end of the day, seriously, your happiness should be only it's only your responsibility, man. That's all I got to say. I can't even think of nothing else more eloquent to say.
Go ahead, Dino. What you think?
I'm with Mike, like you said. You can't go in thinking if you can't make yourself happy, you can not make anybody else happy, or you can't perceive happiness from anybody else. So until you get to that point where you feel like you can make yourself happy, you can't do that for anyone else. So I get what he's saying. I agree with that. They have so many sayings: happy life, happy wife. It sounds good. It depends on the situation, but I do agree with happy life, happy wife in a sense, because like they always say, keep them how you got them. So if I was opening doors when I got you, I should be opening doors after I get you.
On that one, Dino, definitely.
If I wasn't doing all this, so many women so used to us coming in, showing them one image and then giving them another image before we exit.
Yeah, you and Jay Ward right there side by side.
So yeah, it's really a sense of I can make you happy if you're already happy as an individual. Right. And I learned that myself. You can't do anything for anybody else until you figure yourself out.
Gotcha. All right. Stokes, get ready about to bring you in. So before we start, is there anyone that does not agree with you?
Hello. Is your partner happiness? I'm kind of 50-50 on that, and I'm gonna explain why. But
Hold on, bro. We're gonna let Stokes go because I just brought him in. So Stokes, you go, and I'm gonna bring Jay Ward in after you. But introduce yourself, what you're drinking on, and how you feel about the topic.
What's going on, everybody? My name's Stokes. I'm out here in San Diego, drinking a little blends. First single barrel bourbon, if you don't know about it. So regarding the topic, is it your responsibility to make your partner happy? I'm a little torn by it. I think people should be whole on their own. However, you should know the rec before you apply for the job. Meaning that know your woman's love language and love her the way she wants to be loved versus how we want to love her. So we gotta evaluate that.
Stokes kind of got me.
What if we don't rock with her love language?
Hey, then ain't a job for you, players.
I can respect that.
There's a lot of open recs, man.
Go ahead, bro.
I'm with Stokes on that, definitely. But at the same time, we got to remember we're talking about relationships, and then we're gonna dive a little bit deeper. Let's say we're talking about marriage. When you get up there, before everybody and whatever religion you believe in, but you have those vows per se, for that better or worse. And if you're bringing your partner down by not handling financial responsibilities, or being there emotionally for that individually, or being on that spiritual connection with that individual, you are affecting that individual's happiness. So it kind of is somewhat your responsibility also, because at the end of the day, it's affecting your family. Because if you're not holding if you're not taking care of your responsibility with your significant other, however you turn them, whether it's your wife, your old lady, your maid, whatever it is, or whatever he is to you, yes, we have some responsibility. I'm not saying a full responsibility, but we truly have some type of responsibility. Because if you're in a marriage or about to go into a marriage, it is somewhat your responsibility to uplift your wife or your husband when they're down, or to praise them when they're doing good, however it is. So when y'all saying it's not a responsibility, I kind of feel that. But at the same time, if you're investing yourself in someone, you definitely, because at the same time, let's say if you have kids, their happiness is your responsibility. So your partner at the same time, if you're with them, is your responsibility. So let's wipe all that. No, it's not my responsibility. No, that means you need to seek something else and kind of grow a little bit more, because you realize you do have a play in that person's life.
Go ahead, E.
I kind of agree with Crowley, but I disagree at the same time, because this is where I agree at, right? If you're in a relationship, you might think you're happy before you get into it, but when you get in it, you might find that your definition of happiness might change based upon you finding happiness in your partner. And by that, it can be like, like the way they do certain things can make you happy. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's like an emotional support, like how Crowley stated, or whether it's, I don't want to say financial, because like that's a whole different can of worms. But I'm just saying, just like support in general, you can be somebody that never experienced encouragement or emotional support growing up, and that now that you have it in your relationship, that brings you up on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? And that's how your definition of what happiness is can change. Now, why I disagree is, as I've stated on this show plenty of times, and it's everybody that knows me, I've said this, I am not in the business of taking care of grown folks. Never, never, never. Sometimes you have to realize, you have to use the A word that Corey Brown uses a lot, accountability, to understand that you may have a mental health problem, as far as like, you want to be condescending all the time. You might even have low self-esteem. You need to take that, become accountable, take it upon yourself and seek professional help, because it is not your partner's responsibility to deal with you, whether you got bipolar disorder or whether that you got, you just got.
Can I chime in? If your partner recognizes that
this is a relationship, not a marriage.
Or even in a relationship, if you have somewhere care for that individual and you see a problem is going on, whether it's physical health or mental health, you telling me you're not gonna say, "Hey, babe, I think it's best that you may probably go seek somebody. I'll go with you. I'll support you. It's not so much as saying that you're gonna, they're happy, but it's about support too at the same time, which will
You can
lead.
lead a camel to water, but you can't make it drink.
I'm with you. I get you on that. But sometimes
that's what I said. But and that's where the accountability part comes in too, though. Because you can't help somebody that don't want to be helped.
That's true.
True.
That's when they become a burden.
I'll give you that.
Let's go to T, and then Kayla, I'm gonna bring in Jay Ward to wrap it up.
Oh, you signed me off Jay Ward, Swift.
Okay.
It sound good. And what Crow said, it sound good. I agree halfway. I'm kind of rolling with E. But I don't think that y'all have ever dealt with something like that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe y'all speaking from a place of godliness or something. Like y'all just looking at the positive, bro. You ain't never had to do everything you can for a person that's not genuinely happy for themselves, bro.
Why did you put yourself in that situation? Because if you recognize it,
you don't know it at first, bro. You get in the relationship, bro, and you find out people have been dealing with trauma growing up. They haven't been loved on. They're not used to people being genuine and being there for them. So then when you come around and you're doing everything that you're supposed to do and people still don't receive it. So
but it's a point where
I ain't letting you cut me off this week, bro. It is what it is. Like I said, the thing is, my mama raised me, bro, to be confident in myself, to believe in myself. Some people don't have that. So when you come in and you're doing all this stuff for a woman and she still doesn't receive it, that is trouble. You know what I'm saying?
So at what point do you recognize though? So
hold on. But what I want to say is the thing that I told my old lady this a long time ago. I'm like, look, you supposed to be happy. You supposed to build the cake. I supposed to put the sprinkles on top. You know what I'm saying? Like I supposed to I just supposed to put the season. I supposed to make that gumbo and put the crab boil and that Zatarain and all that, bro. That's me. You put the pot together yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all I got, bro.
Gotcha.
So, what's good, folks? It's K-Law. I'm actually in Stark Vegas this week, coming from my place, but and I'm rocking with that Uncle Nearest tonight, but it's across the room. But I will speak from personal experience because I have dealt with it. And I think that the part that we talk about this, but we don't understand that there's a timeline that goes with this. So when you first meet somebody, you have to be whole within yourself and they have to be whole within themselves. And as you all build together, then you grow interdependently on each other. If that person is not whole within themselves in the beginning, they will pull you down and vice versa. I'm telling you, it is hard when you are being drained for everything you got. And this person is steady leeching and steady taking and steady demolishing you for everything that you worth. It's hard. And at the end of the day, it will not work. Take it from one that's been there. It will not work.
But I'm asking you guys, what point did you guys recognize that? Like, how long did you let it go on? Like, I'm gonna fix this.
Crow, I'm gonna tell you, I found that out probably 4 months in. And at that point, shit, I was already in some shit that I probably should have got out of, but I didn't do it. And I found myself hurting even worse on the back end. So I'm just gonna be real. Like, she was fine. Hell, I was trying to keep getting the pussy. Hell, ain't no need of lying about it. Hell, it was good. She was sucking me good. Hell, I got wrapped up in it.
Hold on. Okay, let me ask you this, because you said you recognized that she was dependent on you for happiness. What did that look like? Like, what does it look like when someone is not whole within themselves and they depend on you?
What happens is the things that you do are not good enough. And so she starts going out trying to find what she's missing and stops trying to look at it within you and within the house. So what happens is she would be like, well, I'm going out with my girls. Okay, cool. But you start going out with your girls 3-4 times a week. Yeah, it was cool when it was the weekend, but now you're affecting your work habits. Now you're affecting you coming in at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. Hell, what the fuck? Ain't no damn club open on no damn Tuesday night. Not no legitimate one. So you know what I'm saying? And then get upset with you when you start doing some of the similar things. But you ain't never at home and you don't never do nothing for me. What am I supposed to do? When I'm here, you ain't here.
Yeah.
And now that I want to go out and kick it with my guys, it's a problem with you. Get the fuck out of here. So, you know, like I said, in the beginning, you have to be whole within yourself. You have to be secure within yourself. As you grow together, then you grow interdependently upon each other. So, yeah, in the beginning, I agree. It is not your responsibility for them to be happy when you first meet them because they have to have that accountability for themselves. But as you grow, you tell me where it's a problem to ask your woman if you're doing everything right. If you sitting around here walking around here all confident and arrogant like you got it all together, you're going to walk your ass in there like I did one night and find ain't nobody there and all the furniture gone.
Shit.
Rap magic.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what God love, and that's the truth, baby.
All right. Woo. Jay Ward, wrap us up.
All right.
Stop there, y'all. Cut that out.
So I just want to say that I agree with you know the majority, and I think that you have to be happy in yourself first before you even should approach a relationship or approach anybody. You need to make sure that you're in the right mental space. You're where you want to be as a person alone. You know, there are a lot of people that jump from one relationship to another one, then to another one, and you don't know what makes you happy as a person. But I will say this, it is up to you in a relationship to make sure the environment around the person that you're with is happy and make sure that environment is productive and it's as less stressful as possible. And, you know, I won't necessarily be your happiness, but I can contribute to your happiness and I can contribute to your happiness and your peace. And we have to make sure that, you know, I know that we can't, it's not our responsibility to make the other person happy, but it is our responsibility to make sure that we're not disturbing the peace or the happiness of someone that's already happy when we know that we have ill intentions for that person. So it is our responsibility to make sure that we're not coming at a woman or whoever you're approaching on some bull when you know that you have no intentions on even helping them in a relationship. So that is our responsibility to make sure that you're meeting your maximum potential and you're doing everything that you were supposed to do in a relationship, like Kevin was saying. So I think that it is very important to make sure that, you know, I'm not contributing to your misery. I can't make you happy, but I'm not going to contribute to the reason why you're unhappy. Right. So I think, you know, a lot of times we have to make sure that we're playing our part and making sure that the environment, like, okay, maybe that person is not happy at work. Well, at least home is going to be a safe place for you to come and tell me that and come home to, you know, yeah, like Rob is saying, you know, you don't want to add to the normal stresses that they experience every day. Life is stressful a lot of the time, so you don't want to be another person just adding stresses and adding a sense of uncertainty, or, you know, I don't want you worried about where I'm at every night when your life is already stressful and you got to worry about what I'm doing. So I think that is our responsibility to make sure that they feel safe within our arms and safe within our homes and safe within our relationships.
Marissa Danielle just commented, too many of us have never dated ourselves. Therefore, we don't even know what we want.
I take myself out all the time, and I've been having personal time since a young man, so I know myself well.
That might be another topic. Do you know what you're looking for in a woman, and how do you know what you're looking for in a woman? We'll probably address
I can speak to that off top.
But now we'll address that another day.
Hey, good one, Marissa. We definitely appreciate that.
Now, she need to elaborate a little bit in the comments on what she's talking about. Right?
Okay, so Marissa, I got you pulled up. Elaborate what you mean by therefore we don't even know what we want.
We'll come back. We'll come back around.
So moving on to the next topic.
You can't cut her off after you to ask her, Marissa.
No, she gonna say it in the comments.
She gonna bring it back up.
Oh, okay.
Whew,
brothers can argue too sometimes.
For real.
Last week we talked about it, but it was before the show came up, before she dropped the Red Table Talk.
Hey.
Alcina came out and said that, you know, him and Jada.
Hold on, this the hold up, say what now?
Yeah, this is hold on, say what now? And Eon ready to bring you back in too, so get ready. August Alsina came out and said him and Jada had some situations. Jada had her red table talk. I think she released it today. I didn't expect Will to be on there. They kind of caught me off guard, but her and Will were on there. They talked about the experiences they had. They talked about their marriage. They talked about the situation with August Alsina. And one of the things Jada said was, I was broken, but I like dealing with broken people. And in that brokenness, I end up having a relationship with August. I don't know if y'all seen the Red Table Talk, but I think everybody knows the situation. So how do y'all feel about entanglements? That's the word I was looking for. They had entanglement. How do y'all feel about that Red Table Talk and Jada Pinkett Smith and August Alsina and Will Smith? And Will Smith said something at the end of it. I'm gonna say at the end, but how do y'all feel about that situation?
Man, listen, Will Smith and Jada pretty much got an open marriage. That's been discussed for years. And it's like, for one, Will Smith has the right to cheat. Every time you mention Tupac been dead for over 20 years, and Tupac one of the greatest artists to me. Jada tears up over that man every time he's brought up. Imagine
that's her friend, man. Come on, man.
Corey said the man got the right to cheat. Corey just gave a married man the right to cheat behind. Woo, that's hot, Corey. Woo.
How you feel, bro, if you watch your lady tear up and cry over a man that's been dead for over 20-something years? And it's like, that's what she always do. And they had something going on in the past. Cool. That's fine. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you look at that, you'll be like, cool, but it's no secret that they got an open marriage, you know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, Will Smith is smart about it. He make those women sign NDAs. What do you think Jay-Z got? Bro, I'm telling you.
Hey, so keep Jay-Z up out of this.
Listen, where you think he got it from? Anyway, the fact of the matter is, like, we all agreed last week that August was out of pocket by bringing that up, even though I feel like he did that for attention and album sales. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think that people think that Will is the victim. I wouldn't say, I'll say if anything, Will's upset that it became public, if anything.
Yeah.
Because I believe August when he said Will gave him his blessing. Like, I really believe that.
Corey, I'm finna hit you with something that's probably gonna make him upset, G. Let's be real. All right. So you said Jada still love Pac, right?
Yeah.
So if you kind of go back, let's even look at the Sierra, because I think she gonna cheat on Russell Wilson. I know, but I'm finna segue to what wait. No, that's what I'm finna segue to what I'm saying though.
No.
Be real. All these women, they like them a clean cut dude. She said she wanted to fix somebody broken. She loved broken dudes, so she found her a clean-cut dude in Will who wasn't just as rough as Pac. Pac had past, doing too much going on. So Will was just enough rough from Philly, but still cleaned up, enough. She saved him, got him nice up, but she still wanted her a little bad boy in between. Let's be real. The NDA, like you said, the NDA wasn't signed, but shit, that's all what happened. All these women, they find them a bad boy to break their back out while they present this other dude in front of the world. Let's just be real.
I'll take it a step forward. Will Smith was Jada's safe pick.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying. These women, they find them a Will Smith, a Russell Wilson after dealing with a I ain't gonna say a Crowley, but a Pac, but then still coming back around and fuck around with a Crowley after they get married. I'm just being real with you. That's what happened in the Jada situation. But a Crowley not gonna say nothing like that punk ass nigga August said so.
Okay. So K-Law, give your input. I'm gonna bring in Stokes. K-Law, what you got, real quick?
Man.
Woo. Say what now? Yeah. So it's funny you brought up Tupac, because I was actually thinking that way myself. And it's something I've actually dealt with, having somebody to pass while I was with them. And for years, I tried to do relationships and whatnot, but every woman told me the same thing. And I didn't realize it until I actually went back to the gravesite and got those feelings out for myself. But every woman told me, said, I'm not going to compete with no ghost. I am not going to compete with a ghost, because at the end of the day, I will never win. So with that being said, Will may have been the safe pick, but Will never told Jada, I'm not competing with a ghost. He just said, we're going to open up this marriage. And when you have your feelings that you in over here, I'm going to slide out and I'm going to let you have your time.
I don't even
While she was having her mental moment, August Alsina comes over here. Hey, like Crow said, he ain't right. He somewhat remind her of Pop. So she want to get her back blowed out.
I don't even think that.
All right, go ahead.
I think Hollywood's just a weird place, man. Being famous is
Hollywood
weird,
ain't no
man.
different than Mississippi, bro. Let's be real with us,
bro. They different, man.
At the end of the day, until Jada deal with the demons that's inside of her from Pop, she'll never be right.
True.
Will ain't clean, man, but I feel you. Will ain't clean.
See what you
Jay. Nah, I mean, you know, I was just saying, man, a lot of comments were saying, oh, y'all owe August Alsina apology, blah, blah, blah. We don't owe August Alsina no apology. Reason why, because he's still a lame. He still told. He still was on TV trying to sell albums. Out in Jada from some stuff that happened years ago. We knew y'all was smashing years ago, bro. Why are you on TV talking, man? So, no, I'm not apologizing to August Alsina. He a lame. That's what I want to say about that. Now, as far as their relationship, like I told y'all last week, is no such thing as relationship goals. I want a relationship like Will and Jada. I want a relationship like
people got to grow up about that.
Yeah, that's that bull.
Okay, and now Jada on live TV having to explain her situation because August Alsina is a lame, man. You know what I'm saying? She would have never spoke about this in her life if he wouldn't have never went on TV with that, bro. So I cannot respect it. One thing about Will, this is G code violation. I'm sorry, bro. Will been smashing forever, bro. He got all type of chicks, bro. But the difference is he know how to keep his side pieces in line. That's the thing. August Alsina caught feelings. Jada didn't keep that stuff in check, and this is the result. So it is what it is. Hey, if you want somebody to smash your old lady, that's on you. It can't be me, but at the same time, if Will out here doing his thing, then he can't stop Jada from doing it either. You know what I'm saying?
But he didn't stop her though. It's just
yeah, that's what I'm saying, because he can't, because he do.
He just dealt with a weak ass punk ass nigga who couldn't handle his spoon and some good ass sauce.
So let me go to the comments real quick before we go to Stokes. Brennan Stuffy. All parties are wrong. Jada preyed on August's vulnerability. August wasn't strong enough internally to handle it. And Will is admitting to wanting to get her back. He did say in the Red Table Talk, oh, I'm going to get you back, or I'm still going to get you back. Michael Braxton, Will and Jada aren't fazed by this entanglement. They out here beating and treating and keeping it moving. Chanel, Jada manipulative and took advantage of August. Okay, probably. So, yeah. Dean, Jada must, never mind. Marissa Dean, where Marissa go? Hold on.
Oh yeah, Marissa did explain the comment.
It's a process of learning ourselves. For me, dating, oh, that's something else. Dating myself, I learned a lot who I am, my likes and dislikes. I know what I bring to the table. I used to think I wanted one thing, but now I realize where I was falling short. I was able to actually see my brokenness and deal with it. I didn't realize my voice until I was alone with me. Hope I'm explaining this clearly. It makes sense. It makes sense. And my last comment, Keish D, Dog Team. It's called the NDA. Stokes, what you got?
Well, you got to understand that both were hurt. So I can't say that one took advantage of the other. In the conversation, she and Will both said they took in August because he was going through some pain. He was hurt. So they were trying to be there to support him. They said they had a situation where they split. It was on the verge of divorce. So you can't really factor in that one took advantage of the other. She was there to support him. If you look at the Florence Nightingale effect, where someone that is a caregiver tries to be there for a person, they start to develop feelings for the person they give care to. So it's not as black and white as people are trying to try to paint it.
But Stokes, he fucked up where he said something, man. That's the whole point, G.
My issue with what he said and when he said it is most likely the timing. They said it was 4.5 years prior. So why now, or 5 years later, to bring it up unless you're trying to revitalize your career? So I don't agree.
He probably smashed a couple months ago, bro. This is all PR, bro. This is
the issue with that though.
Let's finish up.
Go ahead.
The issue I'm having with it is, all right. So they had a clear split between Will and Jada. Mm-hmm. Jada started messing with August or having entanglements with August and flat out to a relationship as Will made sure she was black and white about it. It wasn't until that her and Will tried to reconcile the situation that she said August cut off ties with her. So we have to look at why he cut off ties. He may have been into Jada and then realizing, okay, well, she's going to go back to her husband, so I'm done with it. And he ain't talked to her since, allegedly. So
that nigga was in love. That nigga couldn't handle that.
The whole picture. He was in love. She was doing her thing. They decided to work it out, and that was it. So I don't think that is as big as he's trying to make it.
I think his feelings hurt, G. Like, for real, the boy feelings hurt.
Yeah,
man. I think you're foolish for ever thinking that somebody, if you're having sex with somebody's spouse, you're always foolish. You think they're going to put their marriage for you.
Say that again, Corey.
For you to believe that, you're just like gullible. You're green.
Repeat that one more time for men and women that choose to be a side piece for married relationships. They have to understand what, Corey?
You're foolish to believe if that person is going to leave their spouse for you in any circumstance.
Thank you.
It's not a Tyler Perry movie where you're going to see the husband kick his wife out and move you in. That's not happening in real life.
Bro,
we've heard these rumors about Will and Jada for years.
Listen, that was all PR stunt, bro. Jada and Will been doing this stuff, man. August probably smashed Jada a couple months ago, man. On the real. Then it come out, so they gotta make it seem like, oh, we were separated when it happened, blah, blah, blah. No, that's what y'all do.
Yeah.
August said that Will gave him his blessing. That's what they do. So why you gotta be separated if I have to give you my blessing?
But hold on, let me separate it. Don't mean shit in the married world. Let's be real. That's just a bullshit ass term in married world. In the marriage world, is either you divorced or you married. This separation shit, your ass still married.
They said they were life partners, bro.
That's another bullshit ass term.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Come on, man.
Hold on, Crow. E. Go ahead, DJ Ward. We gotta wrap this up.
So Jada is really just despicable. I'm about to tell you why. This is my own opinion. Yep, I think she a thought, but she fine though. She's smashing a dude that's around the age of her son. Jada,
what you mean? You know what I mean?
Call his ass, cause that nigga violated. You know what I'm saying? And then he cool with them too. So like, imagine your homeboy that's your age. You find out he hitting your mom. You ain't gonna beat his ass.
She met him through him too.
Yeah, she met him through him.
Like, then you let him into it. You coerce this shit. Then Will a fucking goofy because he already been a fucking weirdo though. Like on the cool, bro. He just like do weird shit. I mean, he a good actor or whatever, but like, nah, bro. I'm not with all that open marriage shit. That shit some weirdo shit, bro. Like, ain't nobody hit my wife but me. Fuck that. Fuck that. And then August is a fucking dweeb, bro. Like, you try to be a home wrecker or something like some love and hip hop type shit and get your name back buzzed. Like, nigga, you tripping, bro. Like, you tripping on all fronts. Like, I understand you might feel betrayed, which he does have the right to feel that type of way, especially if he came during like while he was sick and he had like all that mental shit going on. I think his brother had got killed or something like that too. If I ain't mistaken.
A lot of family members had got killed or died. It was part of it.
But what I will say, if the shoe was on the other foot, if it was Will that did this to a female, it would be a totally different conversation we be having, bro. Everybody be trying to cancel Will Smith,
you right,
and so forth, or whatever, right?
But let's be real.
Talk about like how he took advantage of them, but like, you know what I'm saying?
Let me speak on that real fast because let's be honest. I know we have a lot of black queens watching this show, but if the shoe was on the other foot, and y'all social media army would gather up and destroy the man. Y'all have not gathered up and destroyed Jada at all.
Because they do the same shit.
All right. Jay Ward, what you got?
This is a heavy topic. We don't know the inner workings of anyone's marriage, so I ain't here to judge nobody on the inner workings of anybody's marriage. But I think one of the things that's missed in the Red Table Talk that I heard was that what led to the separation. Like they said they were separated, and Will was like, I don't know if I'm gonna ever speak to you again. So that meant that she was already doing something that was already out of pocket, because he said that he didn't know if he was gonna ever speak to her again, and that was before August. So it was like, you know, what went on with that, but it's not our business to know what went on with that. I don't think August, if it was regular people, then yes, August is a lame, he's whatever you guys called him. But in this situation, August is up against Black Hollywood royalty. These people are some of the most powerful people in Hollywood, especially in Black Hollywood. So Will Smith is,
no goddamn right. Shut up.
yes, they do. When it comes to Black actors, you have, and when it comes to Black actors, you have Denzel, Jamie Foxx, and Will Smith. When it comes to male Black actors, and Morgan Freeman. So like this is Hollywood royalty. So his coins probably was affected by the fact that people was calling him a home wrecker. People were saying that he did this, and this. So he had to speak up because, you know, it's like I can't make a living. I can't make a living because of this.
He wouldn't have had to say. He wouldn't have had to defend this bullshit. Let's be
Hold on, Crow. But it's like, you know, maybe Jada was financially supporting him, and then she cut it off because it's like, oh, I'm about to go back to being with Will. We done worked out our kinks now, so it's like now you cut off, and it's like, but I'm not financially stable enough to be cut off. So I gotta make a splash somehow. So I agree.
That's a sucker ass move to build up.
Hold on, man. You cutting everybody off. Look, like T was saying, it is PR, because there's no way Will and Jada would have went to the table if it wasn't affecting their career. Somebody said, look, y'all got to clear this up or we can't work with you. That's it. That's the only reason why they both went to the table, to clear things up, because their publicists both released statements denying it. So it was like, you know, oh, we got to go clean this up. So you know how it goes. It goes the same way on ESPN. Like if you make a statement, ESPN don't agree with a statement, you need to issue an apology. It happens all the time. So I think that, you know, they started backpedaling because it was affecting the money, and that's what it ultimately boils down to. None of us are millionaires, so we can't dabble and speak on millionaire problems. So when you're looking at Will and Jada, you're talking about right at $1 billion. So and that's money. That's money.
Hold on, bro.
That's money. That's money that August can't. That's money that August can't compete with. So it's like, hey, I gotta find my way somehow. You told me that you was gonna take care of me through all this, and now you done disappeared on me. So now I gotta, you know, make my statement somehow, because everybody's looking at me as a home wrecker. So I gotta clear that air so that people can start working with me again. So I think that's why that ended up coming out the way it did. The Red Table Talk didn't tell me anything because they did a lot of sugarcoating. Will looked very uncomfortable. His nonverbals looked very uncomfortable. He looked uncomfortable. It actually looked like he had been crying before they started. So I think the Red Table Talk told me nothing, and they sugarcoated a lot of things, and they did a lot of, and it was rehearsed because they both said a lot of things at the same time. When they both said that, oh, he was sick. He was very sick. They said that at the same time. And then they said the whole bad boy marriage for life. They both said that quote at the same time. So I think it was rehearsed. I think it was rehearsed as well. So it didn't tell me anything, but I really don't care about their relationship. Honestly, I care about the killers of Breonna Taylor being arrested, but that's just me. But I think we can move on from. I think we can move on from the Will and Jada topic.
Move on, but before we move on, I do want to bring up this last point that Will said at the end of the Red Table Talk. He said, if you remember, Jada, I told you in our first year of marriage, I'm going to, I don't know if I get the exact word, but I'm going to love you through everything. I'm going to always love you no matter what. Something along those lines. And they still married today. Like they went through all these trials and tribulations, all these, what's the word? The E word?
Entanglements.
But they are still married.
Probably because it's too much paperwork to get divorced.
Hold on, this transition to the next topic.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta say something that Jay Ward said. Jay Ward said that we can't relate to them. I don't care how much money you got. There is some chick around the way or wherever you at, you know that she's gonna run her mouth or this, that, and the other. So you know to kind of back off this, that, and the other. So you can't say it was because she cut them off. Because most think about it. If a sugar mama taking care of some young cat or a sugar daddy taking care of some young dude, before they cut them off or beforehand, they've established, hey, when the well run dry or either I find somebody else, I don't need you running to my wife or running to my husband about what's going on. That just was a suck ass move by him.
Okay, Crow. Because you about to go in again.
Only got a gun.
Hold on. Brennus, I know it don't make it right.
Bitch ass niggas, bruh.
Had to mute Crow. Brennus, I know it don't make it right, but at the end of the day, they are still married. You look at some of these relationships today, if you forget a Wingstop order, she might divorce your ass right there on the spot. But my question is, because our past generation, look at our mothers, our grandmothers, they've been married for years. And there's this stigma going out there that our generation does not stay married long. Whether it be 5 years, 10 years, a year, we get married and divorce and move on with our lives. So first, I want to ask you guys, have you seen, relationships last long, marriages specifically last, whether it be your mother, your grandmother? And if so, talk about that. But also, do you see this generation marriages lasting like our parents or our grandparents? And if not, why not?
People, go ahead, Corey. You about to get married anyway.
Go ahead, Corey.
I think marriages don't last long today simply because women are no longer financially dependent on men. Like back in the times where, our grandparents and parents were married, women didn't leave because they relied on the men to be able to provide. So they took that side family. Long as the man took care of the house, they wasn't really concerned about it. They basically ignored it, so to speak. Now women ain't dealing with that shit no more. Like if they feel like, if y'all not working out, they're gonna leave, and rightfully so. I don't believe anybody should be married for the sake of the kids. I feel like our parents made that mistake, and it's just, you don't want to be in no marriage that long and not be happy. So I feel like at this point, people, I think our generation, rightfully so, if the relationship not working, you have the right to seek a divorce.
But so Chanel just said, my dad has been married to my stepmom for 20 plus years, and he has had multiple entanglements. Honestly, if we look all across the South, our grandparents and our great grandparents,
and our dads,
and our dads had long marriages, but they got kids all across different, sides of the town. But their marriages lasted. What's going on in our generation? Go ahead.
I think it's because
people entitled like a mug, bro. That's what it is. That people are entitled. People are selfish. People out for themselves. They believe in the fairy tale. They want, what they see on TV. That's why marriages don't last. Another thing that why marriages don't last is because in the day, you couldn't get to that person that you're trying to, sneak out or leave your wife for and all that, bro. But now you can just shoot a DM. 10 years past, you done been with somebody, you can get in touch with your ex just on a drop of a dime if you really want to. And some people just don't have the willpower or don't have the moral code to be like, okay, I'm married, this is what I want, this is what I believe in, and I'm gonna be here. But people don't do that no more, and that's all a part of it. So like I said, it's all about communication. And like I said, people can always get in touch with you. And that's where it comes back to.
Yeah.
Real quick, let me go to these.
Look at Dino.
Yeah, let me chime in.
Hold on, let me go to the company.
Dino.
Queen, reality TV shows and social media plays a big part in marriages not lasting long with this generation. When dirt happened back in the day, it was kept in house as much as possible. People gossip, but they still stayed. That's a good answer. Absolutely. Brennan's generational curses, becoming acquainted with dysfunction. Rob, where it comment go? Grandma got different dads sprinkle in with her husband's kids, and he raised them all ignorantly. Deja, our grandma might not have had the same educational financial stability as the granddad. Move on to someone that's going to do right by you. And that's a good response. Back in the day, our granddad paid for everything. They took care of the household, so on and so forth. That's different nowadays. Dino, what you got?
So listen, I'm gonna piggyback off Tia what he said about communication and being able to get to you. First, let me say, I'm coming from generations and generations and generations of players. My granddad, my granddaddy used to leave the house on Friday and come back on Sunday. Going back to be saying you cannot do that now. Then communication with the last time they would talk to you is through whatever you tell them. Hey, honey, I'm leaving for the day on Friday. When I come back Sunday, it is what it is. We done went through the evolution of pagers, pay phones, cell phones, text messages, social media. All of that is there now. So you tell your chick on Friday at 3 p.m., yeah, I'm about to go pick up
your phone.
Right. Friday at 5 p.m., they texting you, ask you okay? Because you've been going to get food for 2 hours. They want to know, I mean, what's the hold up at the restaurant or what the hell you got going on? You can't really get by with what you could back in the day. So a lot of that plays a factor, which is why a lot of women saying, okay, well, you out here doing that, I'm going to do that too. And fellas, we get hurt when we get cheated on. Our voice change, everything change. It's like, oh, I know she ain't cheating on me after all I've done for you. That's what you think. So, I mean,
Great Wall of China fall down.
It's really over with. At that point, it's over with.
A lot of people in the comments, hold on. A lot of people in the comments saying, before you go eat, women want the wedding, but not really the marriage.
Waste of time.
Ooh, go ahead, E.
All right. So first, the main problem is people get married for they get married for the gram, to be for real. They get married to get approval from strangers on social media that they know or either they don't know, to say, oh yeah, this is such a nice dress. Ooh, look at that ring. Yeah, sis. And they don't even know these people, but like that shit help them with their low ass self-esteem problems that they be dealing with on a daily basis. That's what they be needing to get by through the day. So, and in the whole interest of it, it's like they just want somebody to be like, hey, I'm giving you a compliment, because they haven't dealt with them inner demons themselves. And they get married to people that they don't know. Men too. Men get married to women that they don't really know. They just want to do that like, oh, well, shit, I done got her pregnant now, so I might as well marry. Or like, damn, I got his baby now, we might as well get married. And they be succumbing to pressure from like they peers or they parents or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, when you gonna give me a grandbaby? When you gonna get married? When you gonna do all this? First, like, I need to tell y'all parents and siblings and family, shut the fuck up, because this is your life that you need to live. It's not for real. You can't be falling into the pressures of getting married to somebody just because like they more financially stable than you, which is, even though it's a good thing, but like shit, what's the point of getting married to somebody that's financially stable? They treat you like shit. You know what I'm saying? Or what's the point of getting just because of somebody fine, but they financially irresponsible? Like, what's the point of getting married? That shit's stupid as fuck. But he's like, there's stuff too. Like, yeah, you've been dating this person for 3 years. Y'all might as well go ahead and make something happen. That shit's stupid. Live your life for yourself. That's what everybody need to do, and stop living for the gram.
So
I'm ready, Swift.
Are you ready? Oh, go ahead.
It's gonna be hard to follow up. Shit.
Yeah, it's hard. Ralph.
So I think that, to answer the specific question, I did look up some research, and in the year 2000, the divorce rate was 3.2 per 1,000 people, and then now it's a little bit less. So it has gone. I mean, it was 4.0, but now it's 3.2. So it has gone down some. So I think that saying that marriages don't last is a bit of a misconception. I think it has gotten better from its heyday when a lot of marriages didn't work. And that's some of the research that I found. But to answer the specific question, why I think a lot of marriages don't work, for one, I think that it's social pressures. People think that, you have these goals, like I need to be married by this age. I need to have a house by this age. And I think that contributes to a lot of people rushing into marriage because they feel like I have a deadline to meet, and it makes them, make poor choices when it comes to that. Also, T kind of hit on this earlier, but a lot of people are hopeless romantics, and they think that I'm about to get married and everything's going to be rainbows and gumdrops, but they don't really know what they're walking into. And marriage is about work. You got to put in a lot of work in order to keep your marriage happy and to stay happily married. It's a lot of work.
Say go to hell. Dean too.
They Ward 3
and Rob. Now read the comment.
Why I think just don't work.
So we're gonna bring Jay Ward back in. Go ahead, Stokes.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little quick research I looked up. It may not be as pristine as Jay Ward's. It's definitely a passion of his. But according to some research I've seen, marriage typically doesn't work for sex, communication, money. It usually boils down to those. 75% of black people are unmarried, and out of the 25 that do get married, 50% of them get divorced. Right? According to the Pew Research Center, between 1980 and 2015, black people had 350% more likelihood to marry interrace than other people. And then follow back, we see on that same research that black men are twice as likely to date outside of our race and marry outside our race than black women. So why do we see these things? In my personal opinion, I think it's because of portions of systemic racism. If you boil down to, we don't have the same type of rules and abilities as other races. Hell, in terms of even receiving financial support, dad couldn't be in the house. And then we got to the point where mom started looking at dad as another source of check. That's why you got all this child support and all this other stuff. It's because dad is not in the picture. And we have all these stats against us. Where do we have an example of what a holistic, healthy black marriage looks like? So we're teaching ourselves how to do something that we've never seen. So I think we're being very hard on ourselves in terms of why black people aren't married and don't stay married, because we have no roadblock. We have no roadmap. So we're literally learning as we go.
And to that point, Chauncey Kitchens brought up a good point. We got to stop this fairy tale of relationships of the past. If grandmothers of the past had opportunities we have now, they would not have stayed and suffered. They walked so we can run the hell away from horrible relationships. And I'm not talking about surface, shallow stuff. I mean actual bad situations. Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. We're talking about why marriages don't last. We touched on the happiness in the beginning. So in the beginning, and we're going to talk about the past. So, a lot of those marriages, especially for our grandmothers and great grandmothers, because I remember my grandmother was married to my granddad because my great granddad arranged that marriage. He was like, "You're going to marry LC. No matter what, Annie, you're going to marry LC." And that's how that happened, because my great granddaddy felt LC was made for his daughter. He had everything in order to take care of his daughter, which is my grandmother. So now we fast forward to where we're able to have a choice and a say-so, and we're not even having a choice and a say-so where we are within ourselves, which is that happiness and that joy before we bring somebody else in. So we touch on this numerous episodes ago with the trauma that we go through. And so by the time we make it to that marriage and feel like this person has helped us sugarcoat that trauma, so we forget about the daddy issues, we forget about the mama issues, we forget about the high school relationship where the first boyfriend hurt us, whatever happened in college where my first love really hurt me, that first engagement that went wrong, but we found Tommy or we found Kenya or little Juju or Nisha, whoever she may be, to cover or patch up that hurt but not help us heal or seek true counseling. So when they kind of help us mend over that, we go through that fairy tale motion. We feel all euphoric for those first year and a half, 2 years. And then next thing you know, we walk down the aisle. And once that moment is gone, then we're back at square one again saying, "Oh, I'm still hurt. That Band-Aid has came off." And now you with somebody who truly don't know that hurt person. They know the fun person. They know the loving person, but they don't know shit about that hurt person. and then the first thing that triggers them, that reminds them of some of that past, and they come at their spouse or whoever hard, and they're trying to figure out why. They show anger towards them, and then the relationship starts going down.
Real quick, Crow. I see Chauncey Kitchen said I got a line, sister, but I'm gonna make this real quick comment. We are all brothers of Alpha Beta. If you want your relationship to last, get you a brother of Alpha Beta. Alpha Beta man, do not cheat. Your relationship, we will marry you, and you will be married for the rest of your life. You will be happy, so on and so forth. But I don't think we heard from Kayla on this topic. Go ahead, Kayla.
So
back in.
I got a few things to say, and some of it you will agree with, some of it you won't. As far as marriage is not lasting, part of it comes from systemic programming. I would not say racism, I'll say systemic programming. And part of it comes from not knowing who you marry. So the first part I'm gonna talk about systemic programming. If you notice, back in the 1970s and 1980s, you had the Cosby Show, you had all of these different shows that uplifted the black man and uplifted the black family, and everything was positive as far as the black family was concerned. As soon as the Cosby Show got canceled, the first thing that came out was John Singleton's Boys in the Hood. Was talked about gangster life in the 1990s.
Hey, we complex, baby. We complex.
So what I'm saying is it changed the dynamic of how we as people understood life and the way that we not only lived life, but how we looked at each other in life. The second thing that I'm gonna talk about is you don't really know who you with. And I'm just putting it frankly out there. It's easy to put a person or put a mask in front of somebody when you know that they come in on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday night. But when you finally do marry somebody, and it goes back to how you were raised, because we hold our daughters to be accountable. Because at an early age, they playing house, they trying to figure out the family life, how to be a good mama. I want to get married. I want to have this family. I want to be a good mama. Boys out here running in the field, playing football. Half of them won't bathe, and we hold our daughters accountable for being mothers and being wives and all of this, but we don't hold our men or our boys accountable. And then once this boy becomes a man and he's standing at the altar, he's sweating out his doggone suit because he don't know nothing. But if he learned anything about a woman, it's sex. And so now she's at the altar talking about, oh, I found my Prince Charming. I'm in love. Oh, he's gonna rescue me. And he at the altar talking about some, I'm finna give you this dick.
Hold on, Kayla. Because I see the women in the comments. Y'all gotta stop hating. Period. Stop hating on Alpha Beta men.
We don't.
I'm gonna post my thread back on Facebook of all the Alpha Beta men that are either engaged or married. Go ahead, T.
Listen, man. I hate to go here, and y'all gonna hate me for going here, but it's 2 points, and I'm sorry, ladies. We gonna get right to it. Okay, one is a lot of men did not have that example in the house. You know what I'm saying? That's one. So we have a TV or a book view of what marriage is supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So I blame men for not being in the house, daddies for not raising their sons and their daughters. Point 2. Women. Some women feel that they don't need a man. They were raised not to have a man, to be independent, and all this other stuff. So then when they get a good man, things go left because they were never shown this stuff.
Say it again.
They were never shown it, bro, because a lot of men wasn't in the house. So I blame the men for not being in the house, but a lot of women do, like, they are raised to be strong and independent and all this other stuff that other people don't have to see or do or deal with. And 20 plus years of all of this, hey, you know, Becky parents were there financially. They're, you know what I'm saying? My mama had to work 2 jobs. I wasn't around. The kids can do whatever they want to do. They getting in trouble. They're having baby. You know, they're doing all this stuff. So at the end of the day, it's kind of hard to be in a marriage or to have or to see marriage for what marriage really is, because some of us, and I put us in it because I was raised by my mama, you know what I'm saying, did not see that. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead real quick, Stokes, and then we're gonna wrap it up with Jay Ward.
All right, cool. So what I'm hearing both Crowley and T talk about are systemic issues. If daddy's not there, now we have all types of daddy issues and complexes. A woman is teaching her daughter how to be a wife without an active example in the house. There's growth and disdain for father and men in general. So when you have this man that's still learning how to do things without an example himself, how likely is it that those two will work together equally? It doesn't seem realistic. So you're having all these issues and all this pent up aggression and no one can talk to each other. They really need some therapy on a strong level, because they're not educated on how to have disagreements and then come together as equals at a table. That's not what we're taught in Black households.
Yeah. So if I'm hearing y'all correctly, y'all are saying that women either directly or indirectly are raised to be independent and not need a man. And they show those behaviors and actions as they progress.
It's not their fault to be like that. I mean,
very true. I give you that, Corey.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying directly or indirectly, they are raised to, Black women are raised not to need a man.
And it's also very business related too, though. The amount of mothers that I've seen try to put their daughters on me because it looks like a stable relationship, that's just pimping out their daughter, to be real about it. When they're trying to see who's the most successful person, as Coley alluded to earlier, where this is who you will marry, that's arranged marriages, man. Trying to just put that person together like that is not in the best interest of the daughter. It's what the mother thinks is best in terms of the family survival, and that's not what.
Yeah, Mimosa Mimi said, and I've been told by white women, they go to college to get their
MRS
degree, right? They go to college to get married, to find that man and live like, as a married woman. Go ahead, Jay Ward. That's what she meant by it.
All right, man. So I'm coming back in, man. I hate that my internet messed up, and I've been on the phone with Comcast for 2 days about my modem. But I just want to say that, like I was saying before I was cut off, is that social pressures make you jump into these marriages because you feel like it's age restrictions, and you feel like by a certain you have these benchmarks that you feel like you need to meet by a certain age. I need to be married by this age and have kids by this age and have a house by this age and have the career by this age. And so I think a lot of people rush into that. And then, like T was saying earlier, you have a lot of people that are hopeless romantics, and they get into these relationships and they think that everything is going to be just rainbows and gumdrops, and then it doesn't work out that way, and they want to get out of the marriage. They're not realizing that it's work involved. But here are my 4 points that I think, really accounts for the reasons why marriages don't work. For one, finances. Finances, how you spend the money, where the money's going, who pays this, who pays that, like disagreements about finances. I think that really contributes to a lot of divorces and why marriages don't work out. Just where the money goes, who needs to provide for this, and where the money goes, and who's earning what. Second thing, disagreements about raising kids. A lot of us were raised in my household, they whoop people, in your household they didn't, and all that type of stuff. So you're disagreeing about the raising of the children. So you're disagreeing about that, and so that's causing the divorce ultimately because you guys don't see eye to eye on how to raise your children. The third thing is, I think people, I was kind of hitting on this earlier, but people are marrying for the wrong reasons. And a lot of people mentioned this in the comments, that people marry because they want a wedding and not that they want a marriage. They don't want a life partnership with someone where we tackle these issues together and we dedicate our lives to being with each other. And you're marrying for the wrong reasons, or you've been quote unquote shacking with this person for 10 years, so you should get married. But a lot of people feel like they were happier before they got married. And, you know, because of social pressures, they feel like the right thing to do is to get married. But we were happier before we signed this document. But I think ultimately the most important thing is unmet expectations. You come into a marriage with all these things that you expect. The person that you with has not met these expectations. Now you want to get a divorce because you expected this, and this, and this. And like Stokes hit on earlier, you know, a lot of people that are in marriages don't know the love language of the person that, you know, they're with. A lot of people in these marriages don't know the greatest ambition of the person that they're with. A lot of people in these marriages don't know the greatest fears of the person that they're with. They don't know the triggers of the people that they're with. They don't know the backstory of these people, which, you know, you should find that out when you're in the process of dating, which we hit on. But I think a lot of that is, you know, just different things that people don't really talk about. So you don't know. So it's unmet expectations. But I think you have to be vocal and verbal about your expectations and what you want. And I think as men, a lot of times we aren't as vocal about the things that we are expecting from a relationship. And then a subtopic that I want to bring up is that marriage really isn't the goal for men. A lot of men don't grow up saying that, hey, I want to be a husband. You know, so a lot of times that you know, we don't that's not really a goal of ours. We say we want to establish a good career. We want to make sure we don't get in the legal system. We don't want to, you know, get on papers and all that. But nobody ever brings up like, I want to be the best husband ever. We bring up all these things. We want to establish a career, not have charges and things like that. But marriage really isn't a goal for a lot of our men. And so that's important as well.
Let me ask you this, Jay Ward. When did you start thinking about marriage?
Hold on, before you answer that, let me bring this up real quick. Eric Stokes, if we being real, folks get married for tax relief. But that brings me to another point. People think that marriage is just being in a relationship and that's it. It's a lot that comes with marriage, taking on that person.
So much. It's so much that comes with
issues or criminal issues, so on and so. It's a lot that comes with marriage. Even I know that. Never mind. Go ahead. Before you go ahead.
I don't want long, bro.
Go ahead, real quick, Dino.
Okay, real quick. All I want to say is we're talking about marriages don't last, but I will say in the last maybe 10 years, especially since Jay-Z and Beyonce and hip hop has been embracing relationships and couples. Cardi B, even though, well, I shouldn't have said Cardi B and Offset, but you know what I mean. People are coming around to the idea of being power couples and relationships. That's it.
Hey, so I'm gonna say this too. Marriage isn't for everybody, and that's okay. Like a lot of people aren't meant to be married, and that's okay. Or if they are meant to be married, it's not meant to be in the traditional, you know, setting, and that's okay. And I think a lot of people are closed-minded to that. But you know, and our grandparents were married, but you know, a lot of our grandparents went through so much shit to stay married, and they couldn't divorce because it was so expensive to divorce, or they didn't have a skill set to provide a living for themselves, so they had to stay together. So I think, or they had to stay entangled, if I could borrow from Jada. So I think that times have definitely changed when it comes to that. So I think that, you know, marriage ain't for everybody, man.
So
I don't think marriage is natural.
That transition, since marriage wasn't on your mind as a man, when did you decide to have that transition? Since men didn't have that on their mind, because I seen Dean say he grew up saying he wanted to be married.
When I decided to make that transition, it was because I knew I was about to approach fatherhood. And to hit on the topic that we talked about last year, I started dating a woman who had a child. So I had to acknowledge that I was already in a fatherhood situation because the person I was dating had a child. So, you know, thinking about that, it was like, I need to get my act together because I'm dating a woman who has a child. So that's when it first, you know, popped up in my head that it was that, you know, I have children. It's children involved in this. So I need to make sure that I'm ready to go in and do what I need to do.
So let me address these two comments real quick before we go to Dino, because I don't want nobody thinking I really got a wife and kids. I am single. I've been single since 2012, 13, 11, somewhere like that. I don't have no kids that I know of. Go ahead, Dino.
I just want to do a Jay Ward on Jay Ward. He touched on these topics. He said finances. But first, let's backtrack. Swift said alpha beta men do not cheat. And the comments went into an uproar. It's true. Alpha beta men do not cheat whatsoever. We do not. Black men don't cheat. Alpha beta men don't cheat. You get the double whammy in one. All right, going towards Jay Ward. He said finances. Finances are definitely important because if you're going to a marriage and there's the husband making $100,000 a year and then you have the wife making $20,000 a year, there's kind of no balance there. Because if you haven't had that conversation, it's really gonna be a problem. Because when it comes time to spending and she's shopping, you looking at her like, look, you brought 20 stacks this year compared to what I brought. So it's not gonna work out. He also mentioned raising kids. Raising kids is important to me. I have 1,000 kids.
Yes, you do.
So raising kids is important to me. So if your kids are not like prone to the person that you bring around, it's not gonna work out. It's not gonna work out. Y'all mentioned it last week about dudes being around your kids or mothers being around your kids. The kids gonna talk, man. They're gonna say, look, she ain't it. They gonna let you know. If the demeanor ain't there, it really ain't gonna work out. So you can't see yourself marrying a person if your kids don't get along with her or she doesn't get along with your kids or other way around. He mentioned women wanting the wedding and not the marriage. There's so many people out there. I've said it even during COVID-19. There's so many people out there that are postponing weddings, saying, okay, we're going to get married on this date and say it. I get it if you want to share it with your family, but if marriage is the ultimate goal, put that money up on a house, put that money up on whatever you want to do with it, and y'all do the wedding now. Say your vows now. My dad's a pastor, so I say, look, if I wanted to get married today, I would go in my backyard and say these vows. Get this over with. Because, I mean, if it's about the celebration, put the celebration on hold till next year or 2 years from now or whatever you want to do with your family. Absolutely. He mentioned unmet expectations. Big step. Because so many people go dating people and they're dating the potential of the person instead of the person itself. You're saying, oh, this person gonna be this person, he's gonna be that. He has the potential to not cheat and be faithful and do this and do this. So when it doesn't work out, there's a problem. Same for men with women. You say, oh, she gonna be this speech therapist, or she gonna be this doctor, or she gonna be this, or you end up finding yourself with somebody with a biology degree and she doesn't do anything else. And you saying where was the ambition when I met you with anesthesiology and things like that? He also said something about marriage not being the goal for men. There's a quote out there that says men marry who they want when women have sex with who they want. That's a big quote because men are not so reluctant to say, I'm about to risk it all or give up my life's title to give her my last name. We go in saying, okay, well, marriage is ideal, but who's the person that I'm gonna marry? Because if I'm gonna marry you, I don't want to think about anything else outside of us. Right. I'm ready to put everything down. Okay. Right. Like what they say in matrimony, marriage is growth. Do it. So
I don't think we heard too much from CJB tonight. You got any final points, CJB?
Shout out to Professor Extra 10, Spring 11.
Muted.
Right.
Thank you.
Man, I agree with Dino for the most part. I think Dino pretty much hit it on the head. Like I do feel like what I will say as far as weddings, I think that wedding is something that you share with your family as well. It's basically a big party. But I feel like having one is cool as long as you don't go overboard. Like I'm having one, if I'm able to have it in November, my shit gonna be intimate as hell. Like I'm not gonna have a lot of people there. But that's just like that shit expensive. So it's like you can't just squeeze everybody in. So and I feel like, he touched good on a lot of stuff too. He feel like people get married for social media. I agree. I believe people get married for the wrong reasons. I feel like marriage is basically like a partnership, and you have to be equally yoked with the person that you're getting married with. And that shit not easy. It's like you're coming from two different backgrounds, two different upbringings, and you have to become one. Not saying you have to agree on everything, but you have to have like good conflict resolution skills. You have to be respectful because you hear people talk crazy to their partners and think that's okay. It's not okay. And again, my favorite word, you got to have some accountability. So it's not, marriages are not easy, but they're doable if you want to do them. You just got to have the right person to go in with you.
Absolutely. I think that's pretty. Anybody got any final points?
I just want to let everybody know I'm making an announcement right here live on Brothers Vent 2. I'm getting married on Brothers Vent 2. Virtual wedding. It's going down. Everybody invited, man. I'm gonna send my registry, you know what I'm saying, and everything, man. It's going down.
Hey, we're gonna throw a virtual bachelor party or what?
It's going down Lord style. We ain't doing no fans only, only fans though.
No, bro, it's going down.
I don't know about no virtual happy hour. That's going a little too. I mean, bachelor party now.
Virtual bachelor party, man.
We're gonna bring. Let me see if go to a few comments real quick before I wrap it up. Derek Stokes, it's men marry who they want, and women marry who they can. We might have addressed it in another topic one day. I have to address it in another topic another day. Brennan Duffy, I don't want to wed anymore. I want financial stability and a home that won't put me in debt. I'll know today if I could. Get you an AP man. Well, you might be dating somebody. Never mind. I'm saying she might be dating somebody. I don't want to,
No, Nick, keep going.
Keep going.
LL, EOS.
Keep going.
Never mind. I think that's it. So we're gonna bring in everybody for their final thoughts. T, final thoughts for the night.
Man, listen, all these first date thing, bro. We just need to focus on what you're trying to do with whoever you're trying to do it with. And you can't start out something that you don't want to finish when it comes to dating, bro. So if you take that lady or that woman to Fogo the Child, Ruth Chris, and all that, bro, and you start like that, you got to end like that. So that's what I feel about that, about the happiness. I don't think that you're responsible for the happiness. I think you're responsible for the sprinkles on top. I will say that again. You're responsible for the sprinkles on top. I can't build a cake. I ain't doing it. August Alsina, he a lame. Just like I've been saying for 2 weeks straight. And marriages don't last because people are they can be reached quickly in a split second. So that's why marriages don't last. But I really pray that everyone finds that person that makes them happy and have a great marriage, man. That's it.
Crow.
All right. So first date. Man, you from the start, be upfront, communicate what you're looking for from that individual. If you see them as just a piece of ass, hey, flirt with them with just that, as a piece of ass. Honestly, if you see them as being more than a piece of ass, step that shit up a little bit more. It just is what it is. That's when it comes to date. And just know what you're wanting and know what your spending level is. And know if she won't spend the level. I see you shaking your Ward, you're shaking your head, Jay Ward. I'm just being real. Be you. If you're not you and you sugarcoat, now you putting up a fucking facade, this when shit go wrong, G. Just being real. This is about fucking communication. All right, the happiness. Man, get yourself together in the beginning. That shit on you. You can't bring nobody else in, or you can't call yourself communicating with somebody else and your ass all torn up on the inside or mentally. All that you got to get yourself together. The Jada shit, get you a Crowley, a nigga that shut his mouth if he gonna be the side nigga. I'm sorry, back in my days, I was a great side nigga to many married women, and I ain't broke up not a marriage yet. I'm just being fucking real. Hey, and on a marriage, know yourself and have an understanding with God before you bring somebody else into that union. Just being real, I'm done. Sip on that shit.
So when it comes to a first date, you have to meet your comfort level. Just be you. Don't go into something that you can't maintain and isn't really you. If you aren't the type of person to wine and dine someone and pay for all these expensive dates, then go into it letting them know that those expectations, this is the expectation. This is not something that I normally do and all of that. So I think first dates are important so you can really, and all of your dates, so you can establish who that person is and who you are as a person and what you want to do with that person, and how you want to proceed with that person. I think that's very, very important. As far as the happiness thing, like I said, if you know that you aren't in a situation, you aren't in a position to be in a relationship with someone, don't disturb their peace or their happiness. But it also isn't your responsibility to. You aren't responsible for someone else's happiness or peace. You should make sure that you aren't adding to the things that take away from their peace or their happiness. So I think that's very important. Just make sure that you aren't a negative in someone's life. If you want to look at it as an equation, or plus negative. I don't want to be a negative in life. I want to be a plus in your life. I can't make you happy, because you need to find happiness in yourself, but I'm not going to take away from your happiness. As far as the Will, Jada, and August thing, I don't consider August a lame, because he's the person with the least clout or the least money involved.
No, T, let him get it. Let him finish. Let him rest.
He's the person with the least money involved. So when you're trying to take on a power couple, you are automatically in a lose-lose situation. These people are a power couple. So you are in a lose-lose situation, especially when you're not an established artist enough to be able to, fight your own battle. So he had to go do some damage control. I personally wouldn't have said anything, but I also personally wouldn't have caught feelings the way he did, and I wouldn't have found myself in that situation. But you can't control who you fall in love with, and I think he honestly fell in love with Jada and thought that it would be some type of parachute for him, and it wasn't one there. As far as marriage, make sure that it's something that you want to do. Make sure that it's an arrangement, and it's an agreement that you want to go into, where you feel like you can maintain that situation. And I just want to say that a lot of our ancestors and our predecessors really were in marriages where they were unhappy, but they just chose to stay because it was the right thing to do. And but I think if you go about it and find your soulmate and find the person that you're meant to be with, then you don't have to enter a marriage where you have to, make these decisions, because you'll ultimately be happy and you'll be with the person that you're supposed to be with. And that's all I have to say about that. And I apologize for my internet. Hopefully they send me a new modem next week, but Comcast sucked. For everybody to have Comcast, call and complain.
Jay, what they said you didn't pay your bill, but we're gonna move. Ooh. Hold on, go ahead and say it.
Bro, y'all know August Alsina is the clout chasing king. August Alsina is a lame. Bro.
From what I heard, August Alsina is very good in bed, and I think he caught Jada off guard with that. And she.
Okay, we're gonna mute you. Go ahead, Kayla.
Thank you. Like, nah, bro. Keep that one.
Go ahead, Kayla.
So, anyway, as far as first dates, I agree. Go somewhere where it's safe, and you can actually have a conversation, get to know somebody better, whether it be the coffee shop or painting with a twist or some type of activity, walking in the park, walking through the botanical gardens. There are many activities that you can do to get to know somebody better versus taking them out to Morton's or Ruth's Chris for the first date. As far as making your partner happy, like I said earlier, it's levels to it. It's a timeline. Make sure that you're whole before you get into the relationship. And once you become interdependent with somebody, then hey, like T say, you put the sprinkles on. But as far as Jada, Will, and August, Jada, you gotta let them demons go, baby. You gotta let them demons go before you can move forward with anything in your life. So that's on you. And lastly, as far as marriage, it's there for the right reason. You just got to find your reason to get married. And at the end of the day, you got to do it for yourself. You can't do it for nobody else, and you can't do it for the programs that have been instilled into you. You got to do it for yourself.
All right, Stokes.
All right. Well, just a quick recap. In terms of first dates, learn your partner's love language. Respect yourself, respect each other. All dates don't have to be 5-star. In terms of holding yourself accountable, holding your partner accountable, I would say know the job that you're applying for before you apply for it. And if it's not what you into, then look for another job. And in terms of Jada, I mean, realistically, hurt people. You know, she's going through her own storms, as she said, and she was looking for the nearest flotation device. You know what I mean? So she's just trying to make sure she was straight. And in terms of marriage, it's a lot of systemic issues in place. Some of the pillars of a successful marriage are sex, communication, and money. So realistically, know your bracket. It's a reason why, you know, a lot of our counterparts that don't look like us have stay-at-home wives and stay-at-home dads. Because, for example, just tax bracket alone this year, 24% for singles is 85K to 163, while married couples for the same percentage is 171 to 326. Know your bracket.
Thank you, Stokes.
Dino.
I just want to say tomorrow my dirty 30, so everybody make sure you put happy birthday in the comment so I can hear all of that. Yeah. All right. As far as dates, first date, be sure to set the standard. No matter what you do, your first date is gonna set the standard for everything. Responsibility. No one can make you happy. You can't make yourself happy. So don't go out looking for that happiness if you can't provide it for yourself. August Alsina. A lot of us out here are playing August Alsina right now. For all the power couples on Instagram, anything, all this, we playing the same boat. We just know how to shut the fuck up. So August Alsina's a lame, like T said, because he should have shut up like the rest of us do. We just shut up and go with the flow. Last but not least, staying in marriages. Marriage is growth. So you'll never be ready for marriage. It's just a matter of having a mindset to be ready to grow when you get to that point. That's all I got.
Okay, Dino, I like that, boy.
Shout out to the motherfucking 10.
And I'm not angry, people. I'm not angry. I just
go ahead, Cole.
Crawler, you be mad, bro. You be mad, dog. But anyway, first date, just be strategic. You know, I feel like the first date is this. You have to set the tone, but at the same time, it's a strategic, more cost-efficient way to set the tone. Secondly, as far as like, I feel like you're there to supplement your partner's happiness, but at the same time, if they have unresolved issues, they have to be be happy with themselves before you can supplement their happiness. As far as August Alsina, Will Smith, and Jada, I feel like they already know what's going on. It's a lie. I feel like they straight. If Will upset about anything, it's about the fact that everything's went public. I believe they been open for a long time. And as far as marriage, I feel like in this generation, you don't have to stay in a bad situation if you're not getting your needs met. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with somebody leaving. I feel like Chauncey said a while ago, I feel like women are in better situations where if they feel like they need to leave, they can afford to leave. They don't have any problems leaving, and rightfully so. That's their right.
All right. I just want to start by saying I want to thank everyone for tuning in and leaving comments tonight. Y'all have definitely made this experience and this conversation more enjoyable than what it could have been. So once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. My final comments, I'm going to first start off by saying again, for the last time, Alphabet of Man, do not cheat. Get your AB man. For the first date, just communicate and set your expectations and let your partner know like what you're trying to do. If you're trying to go on a first date to get something to eat, or you're trying to really get to know somebody, let that be known and communicate. I think that's only fair. Your partner's happiness, your responsibility, absolutely. Well, 50-50. You should go in, be happy on your own. And like Jay Ward said, don't bring down that person's happiness. Don't contribute to that person being in a dark space. Be able to bring that person up. And your happiness should, contribute to that person's happiness, period. As far as Will and Jada is concerned, I'm not going to get into the specifics. I will say I like what Will said. I'm going to love you unconditionally through anything in the first year of marriage. And he's shown that. Like a lot of people say things, but they don't show it through their actions. All I can say is Will is still married to Jada throughout all these conversations and everything that they've been through. So he's showing through his actions, I'm still going to, I'm going to love you throughout all of this. So that's something that we can learn from. And our marriages don't last. No comments on that. I've been single for a while. Carla, what are you doing?
Keep in
I'm
mind,
just saying, y'all treat me like E. I'm E tonight. That's all I'm saying. Shit. How I get E treatment?
Again.
Swift, keep in mind, love you through anything doesn't mean that I will stay with you through anything.
I agree, and we can talk about that another time, but he still proved through his actions he loved Jada throughout everything that they've gone through. So once again, people, thank y'all for tuning in.
Definitely.
If you have any comments afterwards, you can definitely let us know. If you have anything else you want us to address moving forward.
Hold on, Swift. No. Hold on. I just want to say that Stokes, this is about Stokes' third time on the show, and he ain't never wore a Jackson State hat.
Man, look, you can't find it online.
Look. But since hold on. Since he got his doctorate at Alabama, he been going real hard with them Alabama hats, bro. And I don't like it.
Look, they paid for the house, man. Look, Jackson
I don't
State.
like it.
Hold on, Jackson State is your foundation.
They paid for the house,
All right, I'm gonna mute everybody.
Okay, so that's it. Once again, thank everyone for tuning in. Tune in next week. If you have anything you want us to cover, anything you want us to talk about, let us know. Let one of us know. We'll put it in a group and we'll go from there. Thank everyone.
After party,
safe, fight for the cause. Mask up out there. Let's be real.
And y'all be easy. Good night.
All of it.